The killer of an 81-year-old Holocaust survivor may never be found because vital clues were destroyed. Catherine Schweitzer was strangled and her body dumped in a wheelie bin at her Sydney unit block in 2006. The state coroner has found that two of her neighbours and another woman misled investigators by removing fingerprint evidence. Rebecca Barrett reports.
81-year-old Catherine Schweitzer died in violent circumstances. She was strangled to death, two belts were tied around her neck and her wrists were bound. Her body was dumped in a wheelie bin in the stairwell of her block of units at Bellevue Hill. After 7 days of evidence, State Coroner Mary Jerram has been unable to identify her killer or a motive. She's strongly criticised the actions of those who found Mrs Schweitzer's body, singling out two illegal immigrants who lived next door as carers. The coroner found they lied to police about examining the wheelie bin and removing their fingerprints because they were fearful of being deported. The women's employer, who can't be named, was also attacked for destroying evidence and deceiving police. It may well be that traces of the perpetrator were obliterated when she tampered with the personal property of Mrs Schweitzer. At the time of her death, Mrs Schweitzer had an estate worth more than $3 million. The inquest heard it was well known she was wealthy, but the coroner couldn't rule out the killer being an opportunistic thief. The coroner found there's no forensic evidence that points unambiguously to a particular perpetrator and no clear motive, although ultimately it was probably financial and involved an attempt to extort information from the 81-year-old before she died in order to access her bank accounts. No money was ever withdrawn from her account, even though a banking card was missing. The case will now be referred to the Unsolved Homicide Unit. Rebecca Barrett, ABC News.